I
Let's
want you to
go.
be. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to our final expense product overview as of September 2025. The beauty of our company is we sell a lot of final expense and we're not captive, right? So we don't sell with just one insurance company and that's our only product. The beauty of being an independent agent is we literally have tons and tons of products. We work with about 30, 40 different insurance companies to literally put the client in the best situation possible. Today, I'm excited to be able to have Hanan Roberts, Daniel Samano, and Jordan Sapino on with us because here are some of the top producers in our group. They all sell 30, 40,000 dollars a month consistently. They are very well versed with all the products that we have, and they're going to highlight some of these products for you. Now, depending on when you watch this video, like I said, this is as of October 1st, 2025. Carriers change products, upgrade them to make them better, just like iPhones. They upgrade software to make them better. So by the time you watch this video, it might not be as updated as it is today. All right. But we're going to start with Hanan. And one of our primary carriers, Hanan, is Americo, right? They are the company that gave Family First Life a shot. And because they did, we owe it to them for our success. And we send them a lot of business, right? Um, in my opinion, we like to normally lead with America because how easy the application is, how simple their product is for our agents and our clients. So feel free to take the floor, man. What can you share with us about America and the Eagle Select product?
Yes. No, Americo, excuse me, this is my favorite product in my opinion. Actually, all of their products, I like all of them. Am I only going to go over the final expense one or am I going over Americo
Just
as
the
a whole?
final expense one for right now.
So just the final expense one, this is great. I mainly run final expense, so this is pretty much all I sell. What's great about it? One, initially, the application, it's the easiest out of all the carriers so far. Okay, it's easy. You just need name, date of birth, address, social, email address, beneficiary, and bank, right? What's also great about America is they'll actually validate the bank. So 9 times out of 10, maybe even more, 99% of the time, if that bank validates, that means it's a good bank and it's ready to go. Not every carrier actually provides that. So I think that's a huge advantage that America has as far as that part, because that's going to lead to less chargebacks, right? As far as the way as they handle billing is also really important as well. I'm going to go over this. The way they handle billing is that initial draft will take 2 to 3 days to draft, and say it goes NSF. America will actually redraft that payment in 7 to 10 days. So that's going to help with retention as well, right? You'll see the initial premium, oh, it might have failed, but then in 10 days, that's going to disappear because they tried it again. So it's super huge as far as retention as well, because you don't want a carrier to where, say, even like your client has a policy for a year and it goes NSF, and then then they have to call in to make that next payment. It's dumb. So 7 to 10 days, that's great. That helps the client's policy stay on the books. Now, as far as the product itself, goes from ages 40 to 85, and it goes up from 5,000 to 40,000. Okay. They also have 3 rating classes, which is huge. This is new since November of last year. They have their Select Eagle Select One, which is basically their preferred rate. Okay. They have Eagle Select Two, which is basically their standard rate. And then they have Eagle Select 3, which is their graded death benefit. And that one goes up to age 75, and that one caps out at 25,000. Okay. Keep in mind with Eagle Select 3, you cannot add on accidental death. So accidental death is only a part of Eagle Select 1 and 2. Okay. At what is accidental death? You may be asking. That's going to be in the event the client passes away to an accident. That death benefit is going to double. And then if they pass away from a common carrier accident, that death benefit is going to triple. And as far as I know, America is the only one that has that, right? So that's huge as well. That's a really big selling point for a lot of people. An agent in office the other day, I think Monday, sold a policy strictly because they're like, I want accidental on it. And then she was able to go
Wow.
America. So that's super huge. Accidental, 5 to 40,000, ages 0 to 85, 75 for the graded. I'll explain graded. What is graded? Graded death benefit, meaning during the first 2 years, they'll receive their premium back plus interest. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Americo's interest goes 1% for every month you have the policy.
Correct.
So that's super huge. Say they have it for 16 months. At that point, then it's higher than a guaranteed issue with another carrier that we'll be going over today, right? That'll be 6 points more in interest than the other carrier with guaranteed. So that's a really big advantage. If they can qualify for the graded, I would place them there instead of guaranteed because it is normally cheaper as well. So it's better for the client.
Hanan,
Um,
one of the things I wanted to
go ahead.
ask you is America was the first company that we've ever had that created the pre-check. Can you
Yes.
explain why that's such a big deal for brand new agents? Because half the time, buyers are liars, and what they're telling you medications wise is actually not what is. So,
Yep.
can you explain why having a pre-check specifically with America is such a big deal for us and our clients?
Yeah. Pre-check is huge, right? Say you're going through the application and say you collect information inside of the application. So you could get a decision without getting bank. You could only get social name, date of birth, email, how long they've been at their address, and you're good to get a instant decision. If they'll either show you option one, if they get approved for that, it'll pop up green at the top left. And once they do get approved, they're approved for up to 40,000. So it'll either pop up in the top left for Eagle Select one, Eagle Select two, it'll pop up two options for you. One will be to keep that price the same, and one will be to keep the death benefit the same. So the price will go up higher on this one. Then for level three, it'll give you the same option and it'll tell you level three. But that's huge because if you're in an application and like you said, buyers are liars. They're going to lie to you. I had one today, right? I had one lie to me today. So it saves you time because if you would have finished the rest of the application, say it would have took you another 10, 15, 20 minutes for them to go grab the bank, you'd finish the text. That's 20 minutes wasted. You can't get that back. Now you have to go through another application and you hope they give you a pre-check, right? If not, you're going to finish that whole application and they're gone. Another decline. Then you're an hour and a half in, like me earlier, and that you can't get them approved anywhere, and their bank ain't validating. So, like, you want to be able to get that pre-check and save you time, so you're not wasting time with clients that are one just going to keep lying to you, or clients that just aren't really that serious, right? Because after you get that pre-check, you could use it as leverage too. Hey, they actually approved you for up to 40,000. Do you want to see any other options? Okay, great. And then I'm ready for that bank when you are. But the last thing we need is a bank, or we can use a checking or savings, however you want to go about it. But I think that's huge.
And then one more feature that I want you to highlight because they're the only insurance company that we know that has this. Quit Smoker's Advantage.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. That's like the main thing. How did I forget that? Um, yes, the quit smoking advantage is huge. So during the first 3 years, the insurance carrier will give them the non-smoking rate. During that time period, after 3 years, they're going to send them a packet in the mail. They'll swab their cheek. They send it back, and the insurance carrier is going to check for any nicotine or any tobacco usage. And then if it's there, then their premium will adjust. And then if it's not there, then their premium will stay the same, right?
It,
So that's huge
it's
for clients that
massive.
smoke.
Like, you know, the reason why we ask the qualified discounts on the financial inventory is we go, "Hey, Mary, do you smoke?" And if they say yes, we go, "Awesome. We actually have an insurance company that will give you a smoker a non-smoker rating for 3 years." That is a discount. That is literally a discount, right? Because if you guys know about insurance, if you smoke, the premiums are double, right? So this is definitely a benefit for the carrier. So, anything else, Hanan, with America and their Eagle Select product before we hand it off to Jordan?
No, I think that's basically everything. The application's easy, quit smoking advantage, accidental, and the pre-check. I think it's huge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Alrighty, Jordan. And Jordan's going to introduce one of our newest products that we've had. We probably had them for like a couple months, like 2 months, 3 months. I'm a big fan of the product
Mm,
because of how lenient they are. Jordan is talking about Transamerica and their FE Express
mm.
product. So, Jordan, take the floor, bro.
Yeah, guys. So Transamerica, as we know, if you don't know, is a financial powerhouse. These guys have been around for a long time, and as of late 2024, Transamerica serves over 10.2 million customers, and they manage over 416 billion in investment assets and process nearly 3 million claims in the same year. So what that should immediately tell you is that these guys pay out. They got some good stuff. They know what they're doing. Now, talking about their FEX Solutions product here, not to be mistaken by their other products, okay, the whole life stuff. This product is awesome. Why it's awesome? Number one, what stands out about Transamerica? It's literally a 10-minute process, instant decision on every case. All right. You can literally go from application to an e-delivery in as fast as 10 minutes. Okay. Big now with Transamerica, the FX solution, they may not have the living benefits, they may not have the other, common carrier stuff, but what they do have is an optional funeral planning benefit at no additional premium. What that means is that they partner with Everest, where policy owners can get 24/7, 365 days per year access to licensed funeral directors, will preparation, document storage, and funeral pricing comparisons at no additional cost. And for us, the agents, hey, it's a nice competitive commissions paid out on a daily basis. Now, talking about the products, guys, here, they have two classes. Okay, you have select and graded, whether it's tobacco or non-tobacco. Starting off from the ages for the Final Express Solutions, not the graded. Okay, the age group is going to go from age 18 to 85.
Wow.
All right, 18 to 85. So your minimum face amount, if you guys taking notes, you better be. Your minimum face amount on those, it can go as low as $5,000. Okay, $5,000 death benefit. The maximum is up to $50,000 for age groups 18 to age 75. So 18 to 75 up to 50,000. Then at that higher threshold, when they get a little bit older, all right, 76 to 85, 25,000 in coverage. Okay. Now, side by side, if you guys writing these things down, which you should, you got your graded. Your minimum is also 5,000. However, on a graded, it is a maximum of 25,000 in coverage. Okay. Now, for new agents, you're thinking, okay, what's the difference? Well, Express Solutions, something happens to them, it immediately pays out, it's guaranteed. On the graded side, if the insured dies within the first 2 policy years and the insured's, death is not by accidental death, it's defined in the policy. The death benefit will be limited to 110% of the premiums received from the policy date to the date of death, minus any loan balance. All right. So the death benefit after the first 2 policy years is based on the face amount for the death of the insured, regardless of the cause of death. Okay. Now, another key point with this, guys, here with Transamerica, they're great. They have something nice. They have, their payment options here. They have the direct payments from the checking or savings account. They also accept credit cards. Okay. They do debit cards. And for us dealing in the final expense space, we're always dealing with people with direct express cards. They accept those as well. And they can help you guys set this up with, watch this, true Social Security billing. When you guys are writing policies and you hear someone, yeah, I have it on the second Wednesday, the fourth Thursday, and you go and throw them in a carrier that's not set up specifically for them, newsflash, Wednesday don't happen on the 26th every month. The 24th don't happen on a Thursday every month. You got to pay attention to detail, because that's the difference between having something stick on the books and something lapse and then having to do all your work again, or someone coming behind and put them in a better carrier for you. Okay. On top of that, I think I covered it.
Jordan, one of the things that I love about Transamerica's Final Express solution is with their Everest program. And I don't know if a lot of people know this. With the Everest program, if you have the funeral home call Everest, they would advance the money to the funeral home without a death certificate.
Yeah.
For those of you that understand how death claims pay out, usually when someone dies, you got to fill out a bunch of paperwork, got to get a death certificate. The insurance company then sends a check to the family. Everest will bypass that because of how strong Transamerica is. So you talk about speed to check for the client and the family, like that's amazing. You know what I mean? So that product is very application wise. I think it's very easy on the eyes. I think it's pretty hard to mess up, right? They made a few adjustments on their signature process. It's also a text signature, just like Americo, right? So your clients will receive a text message, which is so much easier. And we love that, because your clients can just read a code back to you and you can input it as their signature. They don't have to physically sign via email, DocuSign, because most of your seniors don't know how to understand how to do that anyway. So Jordan, thank you. I appreciate you.
Hey, quicker too. It's COPD. You hear COPD or COPD or diabetes complications. You want to be going to Transamerica. They've gotten real lenient, and they're going to be coming in select in comparison to other carriers where they could see themselves coming in as standard tier 2 rating. So
yeah, Transamerica is probably one of the most lenient insurance companies we've had. Like, they take congestive heart failure level, which like nobody else does. Like you talk about heart conditions, diabetes, COPD, where a lot of the stuff where America's kind of like, we might push it to select two. Transamerica is like, we'll take it like day one, like so, like on a preferred rating for them. So, Jordan, thank you. I appreciate you. Now we're gonna go over to Daniel, and for those of you that haven't had a chance to meet Daniel, he is like our underwriting genie inside our Telegram group. Daniel knows the products inside and out better than almost anybody in our company, and I love that. We recently had partnered with a new company called Combined Insurance. Their parent company is called Chubb. So you'll hear those words intertwined quite a bit. Chubb is a very friendly product, Daniel, and we're starting to love them a lot. They're taking a lot of business over from a lot of other insurance carriers because of their ease. I remember the first day we picked up Chubb or Combined as an insurance carrier. That day alone, we did 460,000 for the day as agents. Like just so you know, most insurance companies don't do that for the week or month. They did it for the day because of their product. So Daniel's going to highlight Combined Insurance. Feel free to take it, bro.
Yeah, guys. So Chubb and Combined is very much new to us, but they've both been around for over 100 years. It is a whole life insurance product only that they offer for now. What's unique about them is that they offer four different types of ratings. So they have level, they have standard, they have substandard, and those three are day one coverage. And then, of course, they have their graded product where you have a tier weight. The tier weight is a little different. You have the return of premium with 3.75% annual interest rate. Okay. And the underwriting is very simple. It's only five underwriting questions. They have a competitive product in terms of what the price is compared to our other carriers. So like America is very competitive. Transamerica can be competitive too, but I think Chubb would fit right along with Americo and some of the other carriers that we'll talk about later. So with the coverage amounts, you have them from 5,000 to 50,000. So that's for preferred, if it's for standard and for kids, right? We can do a children's whole life policy with them. So the ages are from 0 to 80. Now, for graded, it's 5,000 to 25,000, right? 0 to 80. It's 100% instant decision. There's no further underwriting. You will get a yes or no. It's very black and white. The accelerated death benefit that comes with Combined is the terminal rider, the terminal illness rider. So if the client has 12 months to live, they can get up to 100% of the face amount. If they were to access 100% of the face amount or up to 100% of the face amount, the policy would just terminate as soon as they take advantage of that living benefit. They do take ACH just like any bank, credit union, right? If you try to put like a online bank and if it doesn't take it and it says invalid, it doesn't mean it's not existent or it doesn't, you put it in wrong. It just means they don't take it. So anytime you see anything that says invalid, they don't take it. The great thing is they do take credit cards, including Direct Express, including debit cards. So that is great. With the Americo, it's the same thing with Chubb, where it takes up to like 2 to 3 days for the draft to kick in for the initial draft. Now, there's three reasons why someone won't qualify and why you couldn't take your client there. The first one is going to be if they're currently residing in a nursing home, assisted living facility, or under hospice care. That's one reason. The second one is if they have been diagnosed with the terminal illness within the last 2 years. And then the third one is if you are replacing or causing change to any existing policy. So those are the three things that they look for. A unique niche that I would say, and I think one of our agents did this with the client recently. So I was looking through their underwriting chart, and so with HIV positive, they would actually be eligible for substandard or graded. So there's a potential for them to get day one coverage. If not, it would be graded. I noticed neuropathy has all ratings available. And then the downside that they have as a company is that if you get coverage with your client through Chubb, whatever you get is what you get. You can't add more later, right? You can't add more coverage later. You can't say, hey, we can always add more. You can, but you'd have to do it with another company. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I have. That's the gist of it there. If you guys have questions, Steven.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel, here's the cool part is their graded product is they label it graded, but kind of like the gal that worked at Combine that did our call the other day, she said it's actually a modified GI. And what modified GI means is, like you said, those three questions. If you can truly answer no to those three questions, they'll take you on the lowest rating, which is graded. Now, why is that a big deal? Because combined is from age 0 to 80.
Yeah.
Here's why this is a big deal. Hanan's going to talk about Corebridge right after, which is our primary guaranteed issue product, but Corebridge only goes from 50 to 80 for guaranteed issue. What happens when you have a 37-year-old that had a heart attack 2 weeks ago? Normally, we shake their hand and walk away. Now, we can go to Combine and get them insurance because Combine will insure those people from 0 to 49 when nobody else will. They fill that very, very niche gap, and that's why we love them, and that's why they're taking so much business on. The other thing that Combine does, they don't have a height and weight chart. So, like, you have someone that's 5'5", 80 pounds, they're going to be declined for being too skinny. You have someone that's 5'5", 350 pounds, they're going to be declined for being overweight. Combine don't ask. They're not going to ask your client how much they weigh and how tall they are, right? And then the last thing that I'm a big fan of, and I'm a big fan of it, is they only ask for the last four social security number. So when you're doing the application and some of your clients are like really sketched about giving you the full social, which some do, unfortunately, take them to Combine. They only ask for the last four, right? 5-minute application, 5-question application, I should say. It's actually literally 5 minutes to get approved. And the nice part is they do contracting in literally 20 seconds, like truthfully. So great product. They're absolutely one of our core carriers that we're picking up right now. And we love them. So Hanan's going to talk about Corebridge. Corebridge is our catch-all product. And he'll talk about, the SIWL, the Simplified Issue Whole Life, but he'll also talk about the primary product we write with them, which is the Guaranteed Issue Whole Life as well.
So, Corebridge SIWL, gonna get into this because this has a really nice niche, right? Each carrier has their own little niche. With SIWL, it goes from, correct me if I'm wrong, ages 50 to 80, and then 75 to 80 is not available if you do smoke. Okay. That's important. I've had that a couple times. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to get her maybe graded or SIWL. Nope, because she smokes. Okay. Smoking class is not available at that age. But the niche, what's really cool about Corebridge and their SIWL is if you have cancer that never passed stage 2, it'll actually still take them level.
Right.
You'll have to look at their underwriting guidelines to figure out which ones, but I know like prostate is normally good to go, breast is good to go, and there's a handful of others that are still good to go. And some will actually even still get graded, which will still be a better price than the guaranteed.
Correct.
So that's a super huge niche. They'll also take neuropathy level, as long as they're not on insulin. So they're diabetes friendly as well. I think those are the two main niches for them. And then from there, they're guaranteed level before cancer for their guaranteed, simple guaranteed issue. Okay. Goes up to 80, starts at 50, like Stephen was saying. And it's guaranteed issue. So the way this one works is during the first 2 years, if the client passes away, they'll receive money back plus 10%. The cool thing about it is just like the other guarantees is if they pass away to an accident, they'll receive the full money. They'll receive the full death benefit. Okay, tax free, which is huge. I'm gonna go back because I forgot something as well that's cool about their SIWL. Their SIWL not only has the accelerated death benefit, but it has the nursing home rider. So if they need to go into a nursing home, they'll have access. I believe it's up to 90% of the death benefit, and their accelerated is only up to 80 or 50. So it's a little bit more, and it's not only if they're terminal; it's if they need to go to a nursing home, which is huge. Then going back to the guaranteed, goes up to 82 years, comes with accidental death rider, basically. So if they pass away to an accident, receives full death benefit. I think that covers mostly everything. Their signature process is email. It's a little bit harder, but they do take credit cards, Direct Express, and bank, which is huge on both products, which is really good. And you'll get advanced on the card, which is huge. The only carriers that do that are AIG and Chubb. Transamerica won't advance on a normal card, on like a credit card or Visa. Okay.
So one of the things, and this is for, once again, this is for new agents, right? Like you guys keep hearing us say, what's level, what's graded, what's guaranteed issue. So guaranteed issue is a place where we will take a client if they're really, 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 really unhealthy. Guaranteed issue basically means there are no questions health-wise on the application because the client is that unhealthy, right? So Corebridge by far has the best guaranteed issue product in the industry. They're not the only one because they're not, but they have the best one. Now, let me tell you why, as a brand new agent, this is a big deal. Back then, when we used to run appointments and we didn't have Corebridge guaranteed issue whole life, if Mary had a heart attack or she's currently having cancer, we would literally leave the home. We wouldn't get compensated. Mary wouldn't have insurance. Everybody loses, right? What happens is now, because we have guaranteed issue whole life with Corebridge, Mary can get some insurance. And I hope she beats the coverage, the 2 years, so she get a full death benefit. The agent's going to get compensated. The insurance company wins as well. It's a win-win-win for all parties. Now, I'm going to be very clear because some of you guys are going to go, why am I not getting paid the full compensation like I would with Americo and Trans and all these other companies? Because they're really, really unhealthy. So, like, would you rather get 50% commission on something or walk out the door with nothing? Because that's what I had to used to do, right? So we love that product. That's what we call a catch-all product. It literally catches all the clients between the ages of 50 to 80. Like, there's literally no questions on the applications. So in my opinion, those four carriers right there do plenty of, like, you can literally have those four carriers and sell almost everybody you want, right? But luckily at Family First Life, we have a little bit more. So Jordan's going to talk about the next carrier. That next carrier is American Amicable. I like American Amicable. They're a small hometown company out of Waco, Texas, but they do a good job. You know what I mean? So Jordan, when you're ready, bro.
Yeah, so American Amicable, those are those who've been in the business for some time. They'll know that they bought out another insurance company not too long ago, about a year and a half ago, Prosperity Life Group. So they've been around, they know what they're doing. They got some good products. And what stands out about American Amicable to me, number one, they got some good solid smoking rates in there. Okay. And they
Yes.
accept the ITIN. And for those who don't know what an ITIN is, it's known as an individual taxpayer identification number. Okay. What that is it's a 9-digit number, looks like a social security number, starts with a 9, but specifically for people who are not eligible for social securities, like non-US citizens who need to file, tax returns or whatnot, or dependents or spouses and stuff. The product, some of the cons of it, look, it's a little bit longer. It's kind of like I always call it a little dinosaur, a little bit backwards application. But as you know, build the consistency and congruency during the application. You can always come back to it. What they do is they have like their social and the banking in the front, and they have other stuff on the back end. But getting into the juice of the product here, there's two pieces to the final expense or the whole life product. Okay, there's one known as the Family Choice, and the second known as Senior Choice. Now, Family Choice is for the ages from 0 to 49. Okay, minimum face amount 10,000. Okay. They have two classes. You're either getting an immediate or you're getting a return of premium. The immediate goes from 0 to 49 up to $35,000 in coverage. The return of premium starts from age 18 to 49 up to 20,000. Okay. You could pay monthly, quarterly, semi-annually. They're great in terms of like the mobile capabilities. They have a mobile quoter, app signatures. The differentiator with their signatures here, if you're having trouble sometimes in email or the PIN, they're not getting it. What separates them is they actually have a voice. You can actually call into a number, and you got a robot figure. You got Megan from the AI and Netflix, whatever, talking to you, scaring you. No, but it's coming clutch, especially for some seniors where they just can't get through it, and you can't help them out. It's a great spot. In terms of in comparison now to the Senior Choice, that's the older age. Okay, from ages 50 to 85. Okay. The minimum face amount, it drops for the older, obviously, right? They may not be able to afford as much. It's 2,500 is the minimum face amount. Okay. However, in the state of Washington, the minimum face amount is 5,000. So if you come across Washington, like, what's going on? Well, that's what it is. They're funky. All right. They have an immediate coverage from the ages 50 to 75 up to 50,000. From 76 to 85 up to 25,000 in coverage. Okay. Now, on the graded side, also known as return of premium, they're a little bit jacked up. That goes from the age 50 to 85 up to 25,000 in coverage. Okay. Now, same thing. You can pay monthly, quarterly, semi on any of them. Signature process the same. They do have some available riders on there. The accidental benefit rider on there. It's not available on the return of premium. Okay. They also have different riders known as the Children's Insurance Agreement and also the Grandchildren's Insurance Agreement, as well as terminal illness. If someone is getting approved for the immediate only, they do have confined care and nursing home waiver of a premium. But for those who are going through the process, sometimes we come across different medications, and we would like to tell a little bit deeper story. What's helped me out in the past is when you get down to the bottom, and let's say something comes back and it's referred to the home office, or they say, hey, it's declined. You have an option where you can attach a cover letter and send it in, and they have a great live chat. If you guys are going into their portal, you can get on the live chat. They can help you out through there, but that's going to allow you to take a little bit more step further and paint a little bit more deeper picture for the client if we need to get the job done. But American Amicable overall, great product.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of American Amicable. People ask me all the time, like, what do they do better than everybody else? Nothing. They're just another insurance company, right? Their application looks like it was made in like 1992. I have a problem with that. Um, but one of the things that you said that I am a big fan of is they have a live chat. So like if every single one of you guys right now wanted to call America and speak to an underwriter, you'd be on the phone for 45 minutes. If you wanted to go to American Amicable and go through the live chat feature, you get an answer within 30 seconds. I'm a big fan of that. Like no other insurance company has that. So I go, that's a big win. Um, American Amicable, I don't know how, but they are. They're the only final expense carrier that I've seen that will literally go, Jordan, why does your client take this med? And actually tell you the medication. Because when you're selling final expense, your clients love to like forget things, right? And so they're like, no, I only take high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. And then it's like, Jordan, why is your client taking this cancer med? Or why is your client taking Suboxone? And you're like, this mother, right? And then you call the client and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot I was taking that. No, you didn't. You're trying to purposely to like disclose that, right? So I love that they do that. Like if you've tried to get a client approved for level and they keep getting kicked out, I love taking them to AmAm because they'll tell you exactly why, right? They're not friendly in the banking aspect, like the pre-checked aspect, like the other carriers we talked about. But here's the other thing, and this is one thing that most people don't understand. Their graded product is a true graded product. It's a stair step product. And what that means is American Amicable has an immediate, a graded, and an ROP. ROP is like our version of guaranteed issue or graded, where if you die in the first 2 years, they give you interest on your money. Their graded doesn't work that way. Their graded is if you die in year one, you get 30% of the death benefit. If you die in year two, you get 70% of the death benefit. If you die in year three, you get 100% of the death benefit. Now, let me tell you why this is important. You have a client that's paying $100 a month for 15,000 hours in coverage. Okay. They pay 2 monthly premium payments and they die. In your traditional guaranteed issue product, that client's getting $220 back because it's 2 payments plus 10% interest. In this scenario, because they're going to get 30% of the death benefit, that family is going to get over 3 grand. Why am I a big fan of this? That's what my mom had.
Mm.
My mom made it to the second year. So for me, I'm a big fan of them. They're a true graded product. And when I say graded, it's a stair step graded. It's not a return of premium plus interest graded. So I love that, right? They're like one of the only true companies that we have that do that. So those 5 carriers, in my opinion, if you have those 5 carriers, you can write anybody, right? Even the first 4. AmAm specializes in the voice signature. I was talking to a new agent yesterday. He goes, damn, this guy can't find his text signature. That just literally came in. He can't operate. I go, you should call him into American Apple and have the premium closed. You know what I mean? So big fan of that. We're going to talk about some of the ancillary carriers. And what I mean by ancillary carriers, I mean they just literally complement these other guys, right? So going back to what we talked about, like the beauty of working a family first life is we have a ton of options. And just like Hanan said, everybody does something special, right? Like if you go, hey, my client takes Plavix, which is clopidogrel, most of those companies don't take them. AmAm would, Aetna would, right? So like you got to know these things as you get better. But here's the other part. Our job as agents, we don't really get a pick unless your client's perfectly healthy. We almost never get a chance to pick. Our underwriting, where we choose for the client, is usually based on their age, their health, and their finance. So, like, we might want to lead with Americo, but if they have a specific medical condition, we can't go there. Does that make sense? Like, our clients dictate where they go, not us. So, a few of the products that we have that complement their ancillary products, right? They complement these five carriers. One of them is Mutual of Omaha Living Promise. They're a standard, basic final expense policy. Um, what does Mutual of Omaha do well? Nothing besides the fact that they have a big name brand, right? Like Mutual of Omaha is a big name brand. A lot of your seniors will know who they are. Do they do anything special? No. Honestly, their signature process sucks. Fair. Would you guys agree? Their application is like one of the worst in the industry. So like, I don't really care for them. Unless you have a client that goes, I want Mutual of Omaha, then okay, I'll give it to you. Um, their underwriting is not as lenient as what we just talked about with those five companies. So it's not like a top priority. Okay. So just sharing that with you. Another company we have that complements, by the way, if you guys want to add on, you guys have anything to add with Mutual of Omaha? Jordan, Daniel?
I can say that if they're perfectly healthy, sure, you can go to Mutual Omaha,
If you,
right?
yeah, if I'd
If
rather go to America, but whatever.
Yeah. And then like if you have someone that can pay with credit card today, then you can do that, and then you could add the bank for a draft another day. But other than that, I would probably go somewhere else.
Yeah, we almost write like no Mutual of Omaha Living Promise. Like we'll write their other products, but not their final expense product, right? The second company we're to talk about is a company called Aetna. For those of you that know, Aetna is a big company. CVS, the pharmacy, Aetna, the health insurance company, they partnered a handful of years ago to create a phenomenal final expense product. They're very unique. Um, they only do a few things well. Like, so people go, why would you send someone to Aetna? Really simple. They go up to age 89. That's the only reason why I like them. So you have a client that's 86, 87, 88, 89. Dude, your only option is Aetna, right? Like we can't even go to the other companies. Aetna also doesn't have a height and weight chart like Combined Insurance Group, right? Like they don't have that, which is cool. Um, and besides that, they're a brand recognition, just like Mutual of Omaha. I don't really care for them. Um, beyond those points, one of the things that you got to understand, and now I'm talking to you as an agent, okay? Not all insurance companies are created equally. Some insurance companies have phenomenal products, but they have shitty customer service and shitty agent service. Some companies have phenomenal agent service, great customer service, products, American Amicable, right? Sorry. Um, there's companies like Aetna is Aetna and Mutual of Omaha is that company that I'm talking about. They have great name brand, all that, but their customer service, their agent service, debt service sucks. Like almost refuse to send business to them. That's where I stand. That's why we feel the way we feel. Hanan, Daniel, Jordan, you guys have any comments on Aetna besides what we just said about them? Okay.
Yeah, agreed in every way.
Yeah. Now I
Right.
might I'm gonna go to Hanan for help on this one. Royal Neighbors is a great ancillary product that we have. We don't really sell much of them because we have the other carriers. But Royal Neighbors is a solid, they're like an American Amicable, just a solid company. They're not going anywhere. But like, what do they do better? Right? Like Hanan, I know your brother writes a lot of Royal. I know you write some Royal as
Yeah.
well. Like, can you kind of talk about them briefly?
So when a couple years ago when the carriers were strict on like diabetes complications, they used to be the go-to. Like if you had
Right.
neuropathy, it was like Royal Neighbors. Okay, cool. Um, they used to give a pre-decision. Now they don't anymore. So now you have to go through the whole application in order to get a final decision. The text message is clunky. It's pretty hard. It kind of reminds me of Chubb's, kind of a little bit. Um, so that's their text signature. Their graded is cool, but it's so hard to get someone graded. I've gotten one person graded there in the last like year. The graded is like MM's graded. It's a true graded. It's pretty expensive, but it's a true graded, which is good. Um, Besides that, they just kind of they accept like heart problems pretty easily, um, like the furosemide and the one you had mentioned too, the Plavix. Um, that's about it. Besides that, I would just go like America or Chubb now. That's why I've been going Chubb.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Do you know if they take voice SIGs still? They used to. I don't know if they do anymore.
Oh, I don't know if they do. I thought they turned that off.
That's the other part. Like you wonder why like they have good competitive edges and then they like kill them themselves. Like that makes no sense to me, but whatever. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but that's Royal Neighbors. They're just solid, right? They're just there. And we have others as well, but the last one we'll talk about is True Stage. Ethos, the company Ethos that we have. True Stage is the carrier that Ethos kind of does business with, and I mean, I don't see what they take that all the other companies don't take. But like, here's the other thing, and I'm gonna let these guys talk about it. Um, their billing sucks for your client. Like it really sucks. They don't deliver policies properly. Um, I know they're lenient, but like besides that, I mean, y'all have any comments on TrueStage, your tall product?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've written a lot of it. They got a great bonus option, but here's the thing: they'll mess with you without you knowing, and it affects you. Why not go somewhere where you have something more sound and secure? Are they lenient? Yeah, they're good with things like lupus, COPD. They can, look kind of be real lenient with the medications and whatnot. But you know, um, look, the processing is a pain in the butt still. You got people still missing policies when the address is correct. You call in, they say they're going to send it, they don't. The copies aren't going in. It's just a little bit fluster here. In terms of the payments, they don't do any kind of the cash apps or Chime, any of that stuff, credit cards, stuff like that. And here's the kicker, guys: if you guys are writing good business, you want to stay on the books, and when it stays on the books, you want to be able to retain your money. Newsflash: Ethos, it needs to stay on the books for a full 12 months. If on
Wow.
the 364th day it falls off, guess what? That $1,200 commission, you owe every single bit of it back.
Wow.
So that's not fun when you're doing your job. You just never know what might show up. But I've written them. I've hit bonus. I'm a big fan of them. But I'm no longer a fan of them because of their consistency of going in the wrong direction. So that's what I got to say
Daniel.
about them.
Yeah, I had a client yesterday who was the payer for the insured, and because the insured wasn't on the phone and they were at work, the payer tried to call the company to make a payment, and they're like, "No, we need to talk to the insured." And the lady was like, "Well, how though? He works the hours that you guys are open. Like he cannot call. I have to call." So we've been having those issues, and then there's no way to like retry the payment sometimes. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. It's kind of weird. You send a code, they send it back, you could retry the payment. As a product, they don't have living benefits, right? It's just life insurance upon passing, and sure they offer a will and a trust, so like it's a good selling point. Um, but it's hard to get through to anybody in terms of like payment, right? Making changes and stuff like that, adding more coverage. So it could be a hassle. It glitches a lot too. If you're doing the app and you're about to submit like an approval and you're waiting for the pre-approval, it could take you back to another app that you were doing on another person before. So like there's a lot of glitches. It could be a headache. You could get frustrated very easily. But yeah, there's no telling when that payment's going to come out. We don't know what to tell the clients. We just say, hey, leave the payment there for about a week. But some people, you know, they don't have true Social Security billing either. So there's a lot of cons to it. Where now with the newer carriers and the carriers we've had before, it's like there's a lot that can come before going there.
Right. Hanan, I know you guys used to write a lot of them too, and you guys have dealt with your own issues with them. So I know you can probably comment on that
How truthful can I be?
as much as you want. This is recorded,
Okay.
by the way, for new agents.
Okay. Recruit for new agents. Guys, if you care about getting paid, just don't go there. All right. That's basically what I'm going to say. There's agents and agency managers that have big teams that aren't receiving payment. like as a new agent, do you really think if you're going to write some policies they're actually going to pay you? Probably not. So I would stay away from that. As far as the 12-month, that is huge to actually experience that this month. Um, that's huge. That's a deal breaker, honestly, because a client stays on the books 11 months and then it charges back. You're like, okay, well, why would I have to pay you all of that when they make it off of their spread? Like, come on, they're making it back. Um, so that's basically what I would say. The only good thing is that they take some people that they probably shouldn't be taking. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
My whole
Also,
thing that remember I said great product, crappy customer service, crappy agent service. They're like the picture in the dictionary for that one. Just being honest. So if y'all want to have your business messed with, absolutely go right with them. But if you actually want to protect the client and love your own family, I wouldn't go there. Enough of that. All right. So anything else that you guys have that you guys want to share with new agents regarding final expense carrier products, options, having the ability to choose for our clients? Anything you guys want to add, Hanan, as we wrap up?
Yeah, I'd say this, guys. Look, a lot of times as new agents coming in, you guys are quick to ask a question on there, which is great. You're throwing yourself out there. You're looking for help, and we're going to help you out. However, it's what you do on your own free time, right? When you're off and the calling stops, be that agent that wants to become a good agent, then becomes a great agent. How you do that is go research these products. Every single login has a product based guide in there. You can go in there and read these things. And how you're going to get really good and feel more confident on your call is when you know this stuff, right? You're going to, number one, know where it's going to be the best fit. Number two, you know where it's going to make sense for them and their budget. Number three, you're going to know, hey, this is going to pay me. It's going to be well, and the more you understand and be able to differentiate these products, your confidence is going to go up. Therefore, you're going to be talking about it more, whether it's to a client, whether it's to a fellow agent. And you don't think people are going to migrate to you to buy or people to migrate to you to join your team. So look, knowledge is power, right? But only when it's applied. So throw yourself out there, get comfortable being uncomfortable, and have fun with it. Utilize those grid sheets. If you guys don't have those platforms, we have links. You can literally go down the checklist. And if you don't have it, I mean, look, I may have 6 screens here, but I got a book that I open up on every single call just to verify whether I know it or not. And that's where the confidence will instill, and that's where the confidence will continue.
Yep. Daniel, Hanan.
I would say that here you want to focus on getting paid as fast as possible. So I would go in this order, right? If the health is there, of course, I would go Americo, Transamerica, Chubb, right? You get paid a lot quicker. The other ones might take a couple days, maybe a week or so to get paid. But like Jordan said, just know your products by doing some homework, going into the portals. I know Americo and Chubb, they have a demo app that you can do.
So does Trans.
Um, and so does Trans. There you go. So I would be worried about getting paid quicker, going there. And then yeah, when you're going into the underwriting questions, chat, like look at the questions. Like don't just see the notifications coming in there. Like you could take what you learned from the other agent's case, and next time you come across that condition, you know where to go, right?
Truth.
Specifically to a niche or whatever. That's how I learned about the HIV thing, right? So just be resourceful.
Yeah. One of the things, the beauty of our group is like we have that underwriting chat, right? In our thing. And so like here's what a lot of new agents do. Like they go, oh, Daniel is asking a question, but that's not my question, so I don't have to pay attention. No, let me be very clear. All these final expense clients take the same medications. They're just like they are the same people with different names, right? So like true story, how did I know about the clopidogrel thing with Plavix? I saw an agent post in a chat that said, "Hey, I have a client, 57 years old, takes just this medication. Where do I go?" I was gonna respond guaranteed issue, and then like one of the top producers, like AmAm at the time, is one of the only companies will take that, run it through AmAm. It is a level product, and sure enough, the client got approved for level, and I was like, "What?" Because when you're running a final expense, that medication is very popular for clients that have heart conditions. So like that saved, like think about how much money that saved me. Back then, I would automatically go to Corebridge and take less comp. Now, because I paid attention to the chat, I go, oh, that med, I'm going here. And I know client gets better coverage, day one coverage, I get paid more. So pay attention and be professional, right? So Hanan, wrap us up.
That was beautifully said, guys. I agree 100%, Jordan. Like, prepare. This is what me and the team talk about a lot, like preparation. I had a client last week. They had a stroke over 6 months ago, but under 12. So I immediately knew based off of reading the Chubb underwriting guideline that they would take her um, probably standard or substandard, but I could get her level, and I was able to save her some money. So preparation. And can I talk about the speed of pay? Because I don't think we
Yes.
actually touched on that. So Americode, they'll pay within 1 to 2 days. If I wrote a policy today before about 4:30, 5 o'clock Pacific, I should see it on my commission statement tonight and get paid tomorrow night. Chubb is going to be about 3 days after the issue date. So if I wrote it today, based off the way they allow issue dates, like today, the issue date was for the 6th. I couldn't do it any time before that, so I'll get paid the 9th. Transamerica is normally pretty quick. It's about 2 to 3 days. Um, Royal Neighbors is pretty quick. It's about 2 to 3 days as well. AmAm, pretty quick. It's normally like actually 1 to 2 days because they're pretty fast.
Yeah, they are.
Who else? Who am I missing?
Corbridge.
Corbridge, they pay on Wednesdays. So the commission statement will hit on Sunday, and that payment will actually hit your bank on Wednesday night or Tuesday night, depending on your bank. Moo is about 7 days. Ethos is about 7 days as well. So you want to go through that, replay that, what I just said, and look at your order from there. So look at, okay, this one took that one pays kind of quick, and build your order from there because speed is the name of the game. You have to get paid. You have to keep buying leads. So be smart about where you're placing the clients.
I love it. Our job is to stay in business, right? So, Hanan, Jordan, Daniel, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. And if there's anything we can do to help, please ask. And as always, we'll see you at the top.